Dear students, we can continue with this spongy part of the urethra. So, എന്താണ് സംഭവിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ സ്പോഞ്ചി പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് ദി യുറീത്ര ഇനീഷ്യലി പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് അപ്വേർഡ് ആൻഡ് ഫോർവേഡ് ആണ്. എന്നിട്ട് അത് പ്യൂബിക് സിംഫൈസിസ് പ്യൂബിസിൻ്റെ ബിലോ എത്തിക്കഴിയുമ്പോൾ അത് ഡൗൺവേർഡ് ആൻഡ് ഫോർവേഡായിട്ട് മൂവ് ചെയ്യും. ദെൻ അത് കോർപ്പസ് സ്പോഞ്ചിയോസിലൂടെ ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്തിട്ട് ടെർമിനേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് എക്സ്റ്റേണൽ യുറീത്രൽ ഓറിഫൈസിൻ്റെ അവിടെയാണ്, അതായത് ജസ്റ്റ് ബിലോ ദ ടിപ്പ് ഓഫ് ദ ഗ്ലാൻസ് പെനിസ്. Then it is having two dilatations for the spongy part of the urethra. First one, in the bulb of the penis to form intrabulbar fossa, that is having 3 cm length. Then second dilatation is in the glans penis to form navicular fossa or terminal fossa, which is having 1.25 cm in length. In cross section, the shape of the spongy urethra differs in different parts. Okay, so when we are viewing through the cross section, the spongy urethra is having different shape in different parts. First one, in the bulb it is having trapezoid shape. Then in the body it is having a shape of a transverse slit and a vertical slit shape at the external orifice. So at the different parts it is having different shapes. Then the small simple tubular mucus glands called the urethral glands or Litter's glands are present or gets opens in the entire spongy part of the urethra except in the terminal fossa. So terminal fossa ഒഴികെയുള്ള ബാക്കി എല്ലാ ഭാഗത്തും tubular mucus glands known as urethral glands open ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. The pit-like small mucus recesses, that is known as urethral lacunae or urethral lacunae of Morgagni, project from the entire spongy part of the urethra except in the terminal fossa. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ pit-like small mucus recesses പ്രൊജക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അതിൻ്റെ പേരാണ് urethral lacunae of Morgagni. This lacunae receives the opening of the urethral glands. Then one lacuna present in the roof of the terminal fossa is called lacuna magna or sinus of Guerin, which means ഈ നമ്മൾ ലാക്യൂന കുറേ ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. ഈ ലാക്യൂന ടെർമിനൽ ഫോസയുടെ റൂഫിൽ ഒരെണ്ണം ഉണ്ട്. ആ ഒരെണ്ണത്തിന് പറയുന്ന പേരാണ് ലാക്യൂന മാഗ്ന ഓർ സൈനസ് ഓഫ് Guerin. Then the external urethral orifice is the narrowest part of the male urethra and it is in the form of a sagittal slit about 6 mm long. The next we can compare the different features by this 3 different parts. First one, prostatic part, its location within the prostate. For membranous part, within the urogenital diaphragm. For spongy part, within the penis or corpus spongiosum. Then length for prostatic part 3 cm, for membranous part 1.5 to 2 cm, and for spongy part it is 15 cm. Then shaping cross section, for prostatic part horseshoe shape, then for membranous part star shape, then for spongy part it is the bulb, in the bulb it is trapezoid, then in the body as a transverse slit, then at the external urethral orifice it is a vertical slit. Then diameter and dilatability, prostatic part is most widest and most dilatable part, membranous part is narrowest and least dilatable part, then spongy part is mostly uniform diameter with medium dilatation. Then regarding openings of the different parts, for prostatic part the important openings are prostatic utricle, ejaculatory ducts and prostatic glands. For membranous parts, minute mucus glands are present. Then for spongy part, urethral glands or Litter's glands are present. The next is another part, that is urethral mucosa. What is urethral mucosa? The urethral mucosa presence region variation is as follows. So prostatic urethra above the seminal colliculus is lined by transitional epithelium and below it is by stratified columnar epithelium. Then membranous urethra is lined by stratified columnar epithelium. Spongy urethra up to navicular fossa is lined by stratified columnar epithelium The navicular fossa and external urethral orifice are lined by stratified squamous epithelium. The next we can discuss regarding clinical correlation of this urethra, male urethra. First one, rupture of the urethra. Rupture means rupture of the urethra leads to extravasation of urine. So as the urethra gets ruptured, so there will be a leak or extravasation of the urine into different parts of the kidney. Okay, different parts of the abdominal cavity. Then the common site of the rupture is the bulb of the penis and just below the urogenital diaphragm, following a fall astride a sharp object. The urethra is crushed against the edge of the pubic bone. So the common site is the bulb of the penis just below the urogenital diaphragm. Okay. Then the urethra is crushed against the edge of the pubic bone in that case. Then catheterization of the male urethra. It is done for the patients who are unable to pass urine and their bladders are distended due to the retention of the urine, leading to severe discomfort and pain in that hypogastric region. So the patients, in patients who are unable to pass urine due to any obstruction or any retention of urine and all, we can catheterize the patient to drain out the urine. So that may cause some of the discomfort and pain in the hypogastric region for the patient. So in order to relieve that discomfort, we can catheterize our patient. The next clinical correlation is hypospadiasis. So that is a congenital anomaly in which not hypospadiasis, it is hypospadias. Okay, it is congenital anomaly in which external urethral orifice is located on the inferior or ventral aspect of the penis instead at the tip of the glans penis. So usually the external urethral orifice should be presented at the tip of the glans penis. So instead of being it is presented at the tip of the glans penis, the external urethral orifice gets located on the inferior aspect or ventral aspect of the penis. So that is the hypospadias. It occurs due to the failure of the fusion of the urethral folds. Then next is regarding the sphincters of the urethra. Urethral sphincters. So there are two types of sphincters are there: internal sphincters and external sphincter. So what is internal sphincter? The internal sphincter surrounds the internal urethral orifice and it probably formed from the muscles of the bladder wall. So at the internal urethral orifice, a pair of sphincters are present that is known as internal sphincter, and that is formed from the bladder wall muscles. Then it is voluntary in nature and often known as sphincter vesicae. Okay. Then that is supplied by the sympathetic nerve fibers from the lower thoracic and upper lumbar segment of the spinal cord, that is thoracic 11th and to lumbar 2nd. Then it relaxes during urination but closes during ejaculation. So it relaxes during urination when it gets contracts, and during ejaculation time it closes to prevent the retrograde entry of the semen into the bladder. Okay. Then second sphincter is external sphincter or otherwise known as sphincter urethrae. Internal sphincter is known as sphincter vesicae. Here it is external sphincter is known as sphincter urethrae. The external sphincter surrounds the membranous part of the urethra and is derived from the sphincter urethrae muscle. Then it is voluntary in nature and it is supplied by the pudendal nerve, that is S2, S3 and S4. So the external sphincter which surrounds the membranous part of the urethra and that derived from the sphincter urethrae muscles. So that is also voluntary in nature and supplied by the pudendal nerve S2, S3 and S4. Then what is the differences between internal and external sphincters of the urethra? So internal urethral sphincter surrounds the internal urethral orifice. External urethral sphincter surrounds the membranous part of the urethra. Internal urethral sphincter derived from the bladder musculature of the trigonal region.